This is Christine A. Smith, founder of the Pre-Actor Age Journal and host of the Aging Better Network, a website of resources for actively retired individuals. My guest on this podcast will introduce their own product or service in just a few minutes. It's 2022 and I just started using my new independent planner. I want to thank Independent Planner for making this podcast possible. The Independent Planner has been designed by an entrepreneur for entrepreneurs. Order your independent planner at independent-planner.com. Hello, Blessing.
Hello, Christine.
I am so glad that you are meeting me this afternoon. What do you have in your background behind you, physically behind you right now?
Do you like that? That is the picture of my book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, and a lovely wood wall.
A lovely wood wall. Oh, good. And I will be completely transparent. I just took down seasonal decorations this morning and popped up some things back there. I didn't know what I was going to put back there, but I decided that since those teacups were in my grandmother's house so very long ago, and 4 of them came to me, I thought, wow, I think I would like to have them up here instead of hidden away in a hutch that, you know, no one dares open the door to. So I have them out here ready. And so they're backing me up on all this good stuff.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Before I introduce you, would you tell me something you have done right for someone who's challenged by aging?
Well, my mother has Alzheimer's, and so I've learned a lot through the process. But what I have really done right, based on some really great advice that I received, is I have just spent time just loving my mom through the entire process, realizing what she was going through, but just prayerfully loving her and just being her son and being by her side as much as is possible. And that has been the best thing. I just spend time just remembering the good moments. I actually have 2 hashtags. I love my mama and hashtag happy moments with mama that I use on social media and other things where I post things about her. But that's what I do, is just focus on loving my mama.
That is so wonderful. And my first introduction to your mama, I've not physically been in the same space with her, but that was seeing you up on a stage in a park in Lynn County. And it was time for the walk to end
Alzheimer's.
Walk to end. Thank you. Right. I was like, for or against. Walk to end Alzheimer's. Everyone was wearing purple and there were flowers twirling. Thank you. Thank you for doing that right too. Boy, it benefits everyone in so many ways, and people are able to march together in the beautiful, clear air and sunshine and rain for the exact same cause.
It's the number one fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Association. They use to find a cure someday for Alzheimer's, which currently, as you know, there is no cure.
No. Still working on it, not giving up. Could you please also describe how you felt when you faced an aging crisis for which you were completely unprepared?
Well, it was rough with both of my parents when things started to happen. So my dad passed away a little over 4 years ago now. And when everything really started to change, I think I felt really confused and unprepared. And I was in denial about the whole thing, about it really happening. But I think when the whole thing started, my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and then my dad started exhibiting signs, and his health was declining, and he had lung cancer on top of that. So it was a pretty big, it was a lot together. And yeah, I was totally unprepared for that. And I felt definitely confused and in need of help.
There's one thing that I've noticed, that no matter how famous you are or how much stuff you have, that people will talk in terms of, but dad was always there for me, or I knew, every season, every situation, mom would say or do something that is a sense of comfort. And so that it's just ugly to be told that's not going to happen in the future. They won't be there for you in the way that they used to be, or not at all.
And I was blessed with parents who were just awesome. I mean, they were the most supporting people ever in my life. They would encourage me and supported me to do whatever I wanted to do. And I did a lot of stuff growing up because they were so supportive, and they were at everything that I did. They supported, they got involved, they helped with everything that I was involved in. And so it's a big deal. We had a real close family. So it was a big deal when things started to happen and I had to take over as basically calling the shots for the family. It was a big deal. And it was really rough, especially with my dad, who's my hero growing up. He was amazing. He was an amazing dad. And so it was tough because I had to then do things that didn't always go well and didn't always have a happy ending. And so, it was really rough, but I learned through it and I grew through it, and I'm better for it.
Wow. Thank you. You have been so good about being on the spot. So it is only fair for you to put me on the spot, unprepared. Ask me any question having anything to do with aging.
So my question for you is, because there's multiple ideas and theories on what you should actually do, but with an aging parent, what do you think is best? To bring that aging parent into your home and take care of them, or to lovingly find a great place for them to live with trained professionals to take care of them, where you just get a chance to go visit? What do you think is best?
I look forward to answering that question, but I need a little bit of time to think about you and our audience. So this will be a great time for me to think about what you just said while we go to break. The Pre-Act Your Age Journal guides you to pre-plan for the emotional and relational impacts of growing older. Practice navigating one aspect of aging at a time with Pre-Act Your Age. While your mind is clear, your emotions are calm, and your relationships are deep. You deserve an answer to that question, and you aren't the only one for sure. And our audience deserves to know what it is that you're involved with, you're passionate about, and that you're an expert in. But first, which I am very famous for a little diversion here, but first, it's time for the lightning round. So as quickly as I can, I will just remind you that you can select from categories such as a relative, a friend, a professional, a confidant, a designee, someone that you've delegated to, a document, an organization, a website. You can be as specific or as general as you would like to. You can explain your answer or simply give your answer, your choice. But what you're responding to is, I'm going to read a scenario, and then you decide who or what should make the decision for you, because in these scenarios, you are not able to make that decision, or you're unavailable to make that decision for yourself. And
Okay.
with everything else, your answers are the right answers. So
Well, I'll take the category of friends.
Yeah, category of friend. Well, you have to hear the scenario first. I'm really
So I
glad
don't
that
get to
you.
pick a category first. Okay, well then I'll hear the
Yes.
scenario
Well,
first.
yeah. Okay. Well, honestly, initially, I have scenarios 7 through 16 available for you. So go ahead and choose any number 7 through 16.
Well, definitely 7.
A person who knows you interrupts an emotional discussion between you and somebody else. The one who knows you tells the other person that you aren't responsible for what you're saying because of your condition. So, who or what advocates for your right to answer and to reason for yourself? So, who would you go to? A relative, a friend, a professional, a confidant, designee, document organization website, or something else that you've thought of?
Well, I would go to my beautiful wife, I'm sure. I'd go to my wife to help and advocate for me, yes.
Awesome. Boy, this is a lightning. Okay, you now have 8 through 16 to choose from.
Aha, 15.
He's certain. Do you hear that certainty in his voice? I'm ready. 15's mine. Your body has declared mutiny against you. It's embarrassing you in public. It's making simple tasks impossible. It's just messing with your reputation and your self-confidence, and it's making you look incapable in front of your loved ones. But only at times, not all of the time. Who or what do you consult first to see about your options and make informed decisions in a moment when you aren't so upset about it?
Well, I would first talk to my beautiful wife again and then talk to a doctor.
Smart. I was going through something and this was years ago, and I told my husband, you need to take me to a psychiatrist right now. And he said, let's talk to the medical physical doctor first and see. He steered me right. So I talked to my handsome husband first, and then we went right to the doctor. Bang. Okay, you have your selections now are 8 through 16
12.
with bam. Technology and communication trends are speeding away from you, the ones you've always used. Who or what do you choose to counsel you about retaining what you need and what you enjoy from electronic connectedness?
Your husband.
Okay, so beautiful wife. No, let's go over that one. Here we go. Yes. So you have a peer and a friend and a capable person that why would you particularly go to that person?
Because of his knowledge. Mr. D. Scott Smith, good friend and very helpful, knowledgeable, steered me right. You and me both, Christine.
Yay. Oh my goodness. Okay. I do not want to lose my train here. Keeping forward. I did not prepare for you for those in advance. And I was definitely not prepared for your question. In fact, right now, I need help formulating it in my mind. So you were saying about Were you asking me like going into a care facility versus taking someone into their home? Is that what you wanted me to answer?
Yes.
Great. I'm going to formulate my answer while you are recalling how someone that you knew pre-acted their aging. So they wrote something down, or they talked about something, or they even took action now in advance of a crisis or a challenge that is usually connected to aging, typically.
Okay, well, that's an easy one for me. That was my dad. And he not only did he talk through things with me, but also wrote everything down and put it in a big envelope and had files for me of everything that I would need when they got to that point. It started earlier on in my adulthood, and then he made it really well known. I'm the oldest son, made it really known to me that I was going to be taking care of everything, and I was in charge, when they were not able. And then when we got closer to the end, he and I worked together, and he formulated the rest of what he needed. So really, by the time they moved into an independent living, and then 5 months later, my dad passed away. Less than 5 months later, my dad passed away. And then I had to take care of my mom. I had everything taken care of. Not only did I know what to do, we'd already sold their home, sold their car, got them down to an apartment. I had all the arrangements made for my dad when he passed away. And so basically his action and his communication ahead of time made things really simple for me.
We're just speaking the same language here. I will tell you, I'll just say facility versus mother-in-law apartment on my property, sort of thing. First, you start with that person and hear them out, and respect them and obey their wishes as much as possible. Involve the other people who have a connection there, because your relationship with that person, whether it's your spouse or your parents or just someone who has relied upon you, your relationship with them is going to take you far and beyond, which you have indicated, with your father. You still have all those feelings are still alive of your relationship with your father, and your respect for him and your admiration and the fun. And as things progress, and sometimes they progress instantly, in the case of maybe a major stroke, still relationships, talking with all the others who feel a responsibility and a connection there, and making the decision. This is my opinion, making the decision that you feel that you can live with, so that it is not a decision that you fight against, either place that you fight against, but that you say, decision made, commitment, I'm all in, both feet, and continuing to move forward. And then definitely get the advice, read the books, check the websites, so that you have the support that you need, because it's going to be emotional.
Yeah.
So there you go. I think
Well, thank you.
Everything you have just covered, everything so kindly and thoughtfully, and you really have information, these thoughts right in the back of your mind. And we're about to find out why, because I would love for you to finally introduce yourself, tell the ways in which that you bless others with your business, your capabilities, your passions, and definitely make sure that our audience knows how they can get a hold of you.
Well, as Christine told everybody, my name is Russ Hedge, and I call myself an inspiration specialist. I love to inspire and encourage people. In fact, my purpose or why in life is to inspire and encourage others so that they can live a significant life, a purpose-driven life of significance. And my whole purpose is to help people to be difference makers in this world, to be world changers, to make a difference, to spread love, joy, and kindness to other people. And I do that in many ways through my business, but I help people with their business consulting. I do marketing coaching. I'm a keynote speaker where I encourage people and inspire them. And I'm also a live streamer. So just like with your wonderful, handsome husband, Christine, one of my co-hosts on one of my live streams, D. Scott Smith. And I owe a lot of what I'm doing now to him, and I appreciate him so much in his friendship. And so this is what I'm all about. So everything I do comes back to that why or that purpose. And if it aligns with that and I can really make a difference, then I push forward. And I love people. I love to connect. So if you watching today have not connected with me, you want to hear more about how I dealt with my mom and my dad and the situations that I went through, or you just want to find out about other things about my business, you can just go to russhedge.com. That's russhedge.com. It's that simple. It has all the connection points for me. It has my social media, my websites, my phone number, my email, everything you need. And you can even schedule time directly on my calendar if you want to meet with me and talk with me via Zoom. And that's the best way to get a hold of me, russhedge.com. Thank you very much.
Russ, you gave me great advice, and I already shared it with someone else this morning. And so I want you two to get connected because you are exactly the way that you present yourself in this podcast, and you're just the same way on the phone, and you're the same way in person. And so there's a lot of people who are already going, what was that? What was his name? russhedge.com. That's simple, right?
That's simple.
Thank you so much for putting aside this time to bless all of us. Please visit my guest. You'll find their link in the show notes. I'm glad you listened in on our conversation as we both navigated one aspect of aging at a time on this Pre-Act Your Age podcast. All of the ideas and thoughts expressed on any Pre-Act Your Age podcast are candid conversations and opinions. For medical, financial, or legal advice, consult a professional.